Hello and welcome to Good Burger Reviews. My name is John and I'm here to review a brand new 2026 movie, and that movie is Night Patrol.
I think it was Night Patrol. Y'all feel that? Coming for us next.
This is Night Patrol. We need to be ready.
It was directed by Ryan Prowse. It was released to theaters in January of 2026 and is coming to Shudder soon. It stars Jermaine Fowler, Justin Long, Freddie Gibbs, Dermot Mulroney, and R.J. Cyler. Basic premise: an LA cop discovers a local task force is hiding a secret that puts the residents of his childhood neighborhood in danger. Well, this movie is one wild ride, a twist and a turn after another, and it's something a little familiar, at the same time a little bit different as well. This movie is going to take as what we commonly know as vampire lore, turn it around upside down, shake it all up, and give it a new makeover. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly on Night Patrol. So in the positives, I will put that we're going to give this one an O for originality. There is definitely a twist on what vampires do in this world and how it blends into common day problems, everyday world problems, and even a little bit of a political backdrop going on.
When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a cop. I just thought it was the coolest thing. We're portrayed differently now. We're seen in a very negative light.
Also in the positives, I'll put newcomer C.J. Ryler. He plays Wazzy, a young man whose older brother has become a police officer, which maybe has to him seemed to betrayed and gone to the other side. His mom, who seems all wacky into the Zulu voodoo culture, and he's dealing with gangs commonly known as the Bloods and the Crips. So what makes this vampire movie different? Well, Wazzy, as he's dealing with all these crazy scenarios, starts realizing that the Night Patrol police seem to be up to no good, because in the opening scene, they shoot his girlfriend, which this sends him on a quest to look for his brother for help, and actually his brother's looking for him for help too, trying to solve all these crimes and all these things that are going on between the two gangs in the projects called Colonial Courts. But as Wazzy seems to be caught between the Blood and the Crips, it also seems that the police Night Patrol are also out for blood. Human blood. And the last thing I'll put in the good, the positives, is there was a very solid ending standoff between Wazzy and the head antagonist in this movie.
This is Night Patrol. We need to be ready.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Yeah. Oh, hey. Ain't going nowhere till we get some payback on that demon.
Is it demons? It could be lizard, man.
What? Yo, Trip, you brought them silver bullets?
Hold up, blood. That's werewolves, man. You tripping.
I ain't tripping, no, I ain't tripping.
And that'll bring me to what I'm mixed on in this movie. So, from what I understood, I thought this movie was going to be a very simple vampires in LA, police type of crime story. But this story seems to get very complicated with all the things that it's trying to say.
We're portrayed differently now. We're seen in a very negative light. Most of us are good, but there are a few bad apples out there.
Turn around and face the other way.
How the world is looking at the police today. looking at them in a negative way. In fact, there's a scene where the police show up into an elementary school and shoot off a round of gunfire, but it turns out to be just blanks. And I thought, how in the world is any police in any department anywhere getting away with something like that? I think what really complicates this one is just the way the story is told, the dialogue and the way it is written. The reason why I'm mixed on it is I feel like this movie is trying to be big about what it's trying to say, but doesn't really drive the point fully home. Because at the end of the day, the real antagonists in this movie are just vampires. And these vampires are a little bit different than typical vampires, but they're blood-sucking vampires.
They vampires.
Tonight, let's go. We show him how Night Patrol hunts. We bleed colonial courts dry.
Couple of scenes, every time Dermot Mulroney would talk, I felt like, oh, he's doing his Detective Bailey, you know. You kill my family, you die. And I think that's what I'll put in the mix as well, is oddly enough, the design of these vampires are a little bit different. And what I mean is, they don't really look like vampires. Most of the vampires in this movie are police officers. And I just find it odd that when they don't follow typical lore. So like, you can't shoot them with silver bullets, you can't stab them through the heart. And for some reason, they put their own fangs in at night before they go and suck blood. And it seems like most of the time they're not sucking blood in the regular way. It seems like they use their guns and their knives to get the blood out, and then they drink the blood, sometimes off the floor, sometimes dripping it out of their body like a faucet. And I thought to myself, whatever happened to good old-fashioned biting on the knuck and sucking the blood out that way? Now there are a few scenes of that, but I guess these vampires are into variety.
You know, the mail keeps disappearing. I think we have a little mail thief.
Speaking of, Lori, I could have sworn I saw a University of Wisconsin envelope sticking out of your bra. What's that all about?
What?
Donna's on the pill.
What did you do?
Nothing. Nothing.
Dinner's over. You, kitchen, now.
One comical scene, well, it's kind of comical, but it was really weird. It was one of the gang members, the mom and Wasi, having this conversation about their plan of action for the evening. And they filmed it in the style of, if you remember that 70s show, where you would see Eric Foreman and Kelso and Jackie and all the other characters in that movie, and they'd be doing weed in the circle, and you would have the shot of the camera going this way, and it'd be real close up on their face, you know, and then it'd zoom into the next person that was talking. Well, they were having this conversation, it was doing the same exact thing, where the camera's in the center of all three of them, and just following them as they speak, but it seemed like most of the time it wasn't even on the right person, which I thought, little execution issues here. Why for just that one scene did we have that 70s show moment, and then for the rest of the movie we went back into regular film?
Upstairs, now.
And this will bring me to the negatives. So, I mean, with this I feel like it just got so complicated with the amount of characters that were in here. And I felt like the movie was misguiding us on who the protagonist, antagonist, you know, who was the star of this movie? Because when you read the premise, it says it's about a police officer who's finding out there's something wrong with his police department. But it really seems like the main star is Wasi, his younger brother, who lives in the projects with his mother, who's caught up between all these gangs and the police and all the crazy things that all these groups are doing. And he's trying to figure out which side's really the right side. Is it the police? Is it his brother? Is it his mom and all her voodoo Zulu culture? Or is it his gang, his home gang, which is, I guess he's part of the Crips, and the other gang in this complex or project is the Bloods. I thought it would have been funny if the vampires were the Bloods, because, i.e., they want blood, but they made the cops the Bloods in this one. I think along with trying to figure out who you're rooting for, also the dialogue in this is rough. Now, I mean, I get it. It's set in LA, it's in the hood. There's lots of cursing, lots of rough words, but there's also a lot of code talk, a lot of what the heck did that guy just even say? Because you don't even know what the heck he even meant. So some of it gets lost in translation. Not to mention, along with some of what the dialogue is, in some of these scenes, it seems like some of the conversations that some of these characters are having, mainly the cops, and I guess maybe it's because they are the vampire crew in this movie, but their conversations are just don't seem like conversations that normal people would have. It seemed very, very scripted and very rehearsed as it came out. So let's get into some spoilers on Night Patrol so I can kind of pull this all together to help it all make sense to see, will the Night Patrol and vampire crew succeed in their crazy mission of draining all the blood of all the gang members in this project, or will Wasi and his friends be able to defeat the vampires and become triumphant? So the movie starts off with pretty much after a little bit of a brief opening, which becomes a flashback, or the whole movie is a flashback, I guess. But we find out that Justin Long's character is one of the police officers, and he's trying to get onto the Night Patrol. He's working day shift with Wasi's brother, older brother, and they kind of have this whole Lethal Weapon meets Training Day thing going on, being this partners out fighting crime in Los Angeles. So for some reason, it seems like to get onto the Night Patrol, you have to go through some sort of bizarre hazing and possibly kill a criminal or an alleged criminal to get into Night Patrol. And that's exactly what happens when Justin Long's character kills Wasi's girlfriend. So it seems like at first you want to kind of root for Justin because you think he's going to go down the right path. But you also feel like you want to root for Wasi and his brother too, because they seem like they're trying to go down the right path. Like, I seem to associate most with Wasi. He seemed to be the most clean character, if I could say. He was the one that seemed to be the most genuine, the most one trying to be true to his brother and true to his mother at the same time. So Wasi's older brother is named Xavier, and he's trying to figure out how is his brother getting caught up with the Night Patrol and with these gangs, and it seems like he's kind of been on the down and outs, or not on good terms with his mom, which is who Wasi stays with.
You want in, Night Patrol? This is it.
Meanwhile, Justin Long is trying to figure out how to get on the Night Patrol, but as he starts to become part of the Night Patrol, he starts to realize that maybe Night Patrol isn't as cracked up as it used to be. And also, his character is grieving his father, who he lost a long time ago and witnessed die, who was also a former police officer. But the deeper and deeper into Night Patrol he gets, he realizes that somehow his father isn't dead, his father is back and in charge of the Night Patrol, and that the Night Patrol is this crew of vampires drinking blood. And at first he's really trying to resist it, but they've drugged him and they've forced him to drink the blood of his dad.
Tonight, let's go. We show him how Night Patrol hunts.
It was actually kind of comical the way it was done, the way it was executed, these very silver teeth, and they clearly were fake. They look almost plastic, like that shiny plastic. So Justin Long and Xavier get together and they're trying, Xavier realizes that maybe something's wrong with Justin, and Justin's definitely going through it. Like, his whole vampire experience, like, he gets this vision where I thought the vision was kind of crazy. It's like this black and white X-ray vision, and they do a lot of crazy stuff with the cameras where it's like wobbly and like his face is all oblong, and it's trying to give this like mystic, like delirium type of feeling, but it really was just, it's like almost watching found footage. It gets to be almost like a headache. Well, it turns out as the Night Patrol is becoming vampires, they throw a lot of the members of the colonial courts into cages, and they start cutting them up and drinking their blood. And the two gangs decide that they're going to settle their beef for the night to battle off the vampires as a union, which I thought was a neat concept in this movie. But Justin Long can't resist his vampire self and ends up biting his partner Xavier. And Wasi sees this. So Wasi and his mom and some of the gang members from both sides end up trying to battle off these vampires, many of them not being successful.
What is this?
They shot your sister. I think it was Night Patrol.
We need to be ready.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, hey. We ain't going nowhere till we get some payback on that demon.
Is it demons? It could be lizard, man.
What? Yo, Trip, you bought them silver bullets?
Hold up, blood. That's werewolves, man. You tripping.
But it all unravels with the head of the Bloods having this big pack of dynamite strapped to him, and he blows up a bunch of the cops. And as they start realizing that these vampires aren't the typical vampires, as they're stabbing them in the heart, that's not working, and they're shooting them with the guns, that's not working. But it turns out Mom was the one that was right on the point. She had all her voodoo Zulu culture stuff that she embraced to help keep these vampires at bay, which keeps them out of her house. But they threaten to burn down the entire complex, which causes Wasi to go out and confront them, which he has this final cool, and this is what, so it was kind of a mixed bag throughout the whole movie, because it was complicated, and there were some great parts, and then there was just some confusing parts. And I was starting to feel like could be a rough one. But I felt like the ending was kind of solid, because he really battles Justin Long. And Justin Long turns into a vampire like I've never seen. Almost like something you would see in Aliens. The way his mouth opens up and his jaw is like, it's like toothless. But you just have to see it. It's a very neat ending. And they kind of rise up in the air. And Wasi has one of his mom's like voodoo swords, which is gonna do the trick. So he ends up getting Justin Long, and then he comes to find out, as he gets picked up by the police and brought into the station, realizing that some of the officers are not vampires, but they know that they're vampires, and they're just cool with it, which I thought was, why? But whatever. It's this whole thing about being blue, but it seemed kind of odd for someone to just be good with vampires killing random people. Anyhow, Wasi ends up going into one of the rooms in the police station, and he has a second final battle with Justin Long's dad, who's played by Dermot Mulroney, which we all remember him, the killer from Scream 6, Detective Bailey. And it does do this little cliffhanger ad where we show Wasi stabbing Dermot Mulroney with the green little special Zulu sword, killing him, but then like a batch of like 25 officers closing in on him, and boom, cut the credits. So I don't know if they're trying to sequel bait or if they're gonna make a sequel. We'll find out if it is. I feel like this movie is definitely a mixed bag, because I think at the end of the day, we're going to get down to business on this one. It seems as though it was a little complicated with too much going on. I think they could have pulled out some of these side things going on, some of this extra commentary that they had going on, and just kept it as a simple, cops are bad, converging on the projects, battling, vampire. That would have been a little bit better. So I have to blend all my emotions on this, because it definitely had some pacing issues in the middle. But when I think about all of this, I think, overall, it was very basic. Even Justin Long and Dermot Mulroney, they kind of gave a very basic, generic performance. And so we'll go right in the middle. This one ends up being a basic burger. Well, that's it. That's the review on Night Patrol. Please like, subscribe, tap that notification bell, all that jazz for more horror content. And don't forget to stay scared of those Night Patrol police who end up being psychotic, crazy, don't know how to drink their vampire blood in a normal fashion vampires.